Welcome back, Film Force fans. His name is Jordan Wiltshire. Rumour has it he was an extra in Willow and thinks Akbar is his Patronus. All we know for sure is he loves all things geek. And today he is
giving you an Aussie's opinion on why James Bond should just die.
There's one all-powerful force controlling everything.
Now you're probably wondering what this is. It's meant to be a cat, okay? I didn't have a cat, I'm sorry. So, why do I think James Bond should just die? Well, I don't mean literally. I mean, just stop trying to reboot it. Stop trying to recast it. Hollywood, please just listen. You've recasted James Bond quite a bit now, okay? Our last one was Daniel Craig, and the last film he did came out a couple of years ago. Now, is he going to star in another one? Is he not? We're not entirely sure. It changes every week, it feels like. And now there's rumours that now it could be a female James Bond, or they're looking at other actors. And it just gets sort of too repetitive. Last year, it was almost Tom. Last year, apparently it was going to be Tom Hiddleston, because he starred in A Night Manager, playing a very James Bond-esque type of person. So everyone was like, it's going to be Tom Hiddleston. The year before that, it was Idris Elba, because he was the star of Luther, and he was a sort of James Bond type, and it would be great to have a black James Bond. Yes, it would. I admit, it would. And then, any time that a person does a role where they wear a suit and look a bit James Bondy, they're going to be the next James Bond, okay? Like Tom Hardy looks great in a suit in Legends. Oh, he's going to be James Bond. I'm surprised they haven't said Taron Egerton, just because he played a James Bond character in Kingsman was going to be the next James Bond. They just start so many rumours, and it gets repetitive. And this is why I think James Bond has to die. Daniel Craig has been a good James Bond, but there was only 2 good James Bond films out of the 4. And before that, with Pierce Brosnan, only maybe 1 or 2 was critically well received. And it just, ever since sort of Pierce Brosnan era, it's been dying. And that's because James Bond wasn't meant to be in this era. They're trying to bring him into this era where it should actually still be set in the Cold War era. James Bond was all about, during the Cold War era, the Russians versus the Americans, and the British sort of spying on Russians, spying on the communists. And that worked, because it was actually an era of spies. Nowadays, more spying goes on via computers, and that's just not very interesting. And when they try and make it more gritty, we then miss, there's no gadgets like there was in the Roger Moore days. And then when they put gadgets in, it's too cheesy, like the Roger Moore days. And honestly, I think what Hollywood needs to do is just come up with more spy films. The year that Spectre came out, there were 4 other spy films. And you could argue that Spectre was actually the worst. You had Kingsman, you had Bridge of Spies, that doesn't count, but you had Kingsman, you had Spy, you had Man from U.N.C.L.E., and you had Mission Impossible. And I'm actually looking forward more to the next Mission Impossible than I am more than the next James Bond. Because the last James Bond didn't get me excited as much. It was a bit bland. Now, would I love them to see James Bond recast as a female? Let's go on to that, because that's what they're talking about in Hollywood. No. Now, I'm not being sexist, because James Bond is a guy, I'm sorry. But why don't you, Hollywood? Here's a radical idea. Make a film with a female spy, write it like a James Bond film, make the lead a female, and not call it James Bond, not have it related to any previous film. Just have it stand alone. Maybe even start our own franchise if it's good. But no, you won't do that because you're afraid of risk. Well, it won't be risk if you actually write it like a decent character. I don't want a female James Bond. I want a female spy. I don't want to compare her to a male person. I want her to stand alone. I want her to be herself. I don't want to be a female version of a male character. Okay? Well, yes, would I love to see Emily Blunt star as the lead in James Bond film, or Rebecca Ferguson, or Jessica Chastain, or about 1,000 other kick-ass female actors who could do it. Okay, yeah, I'd be interested. But look what happened with Ghostbusters. Just make an original film. Don't call it James Bond or Jane Bond or whatever you're going to call it. Cast it and make it a film about a female kick-ass spy, and don't have it related to James Bond. That's all you got to do. If you make it look good, people go see it. People went and saw Atomic Blonde this year. Maybe not as many people as maybe go see a James Bond female-centric film, but then you'd have a bit of backlash as well. Now, do I want to see Idris Elba as James Bond or Michael Fassbender or Tom Hardy or Tom Hiddleston? Sure. But to be fair, as I said, I'm just tired of James Bond. I was more looking forward to Kingsman 2 than I was the next James Bond. And Kingsman 2 wasn't great, but I'm looking forward to Kingsman 3 still because it's different. It's something fun. And I feel like just a James Bond does not fit in our era anymore. We've got our own spy heroes now from other films. We've got Ethan Hunt, we've got Jason Bourne, we have Eggsy. How about you create some more of those rather than try and keep going with the one that's been so successful but is suddenly starting to die off a bit? They can't live up to the sort of the charm of Sean Connery, the grittiness of Timothy Dalton, the ladies' man comedy of Roger Moore, or the action spy film of Pierce Brosnan. Daniel Craig, yes, brought a new grittiness to it in Casino Royale, but then that was lost in Quantum of Solace. Then they brought it back with Skyfall, and then Spectre shit the bed. Just Hollywood. Listen. Enough is enough for the moment of James Bond. Every year we get new rumours of who's going to be cast as it. Let's just see some actual original spy films. Let's see them be franchises. And actually maybe have one start with a female lead and not think, okay, we've now had a male franchise that's been so successful, it's about time we put female in it. Let James Bond die for the moment. Bring him back in 10 years if need be. But we need more time, okay? Either make James Bond set in the Cold War, like it was originally, like the novels are written, where spying actually happened like it does in James Bond films, or let it die for now, and let's just keep with heroes that we already love. Ethan Hunt, Eggsy. Let's see a sequel to Man from U.N.C.L.E. and all that. So, do you hate my opinion? Do you actually want to see a female James Bond, or who do you want to see cast as James Bond? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, that was your Aussie's opinion on why James Bond should just die.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, do hit that like button or head down to the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest videos. May the Force be with you.